Hello, everyone. I'm Steve.
I'm Matt.
He's Matt.
I'm Adam.
He's Adam. I hope you can hear this because we're trying this kind of on the fly. This is the podcast. This is the podcast about SRE and production software here at Google.
On-site.
We're on site.
Yeah, on site. First time.
Where are we? What city are we in?
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah. None of us live here except for this guy.
I don't live here either. I live about 25 miles away.
Oh, okay. He doesn't even live here. It's great. So today we're going to be talking with a few different SREs. Adam is the first one, so we're kind of figuring out what it is that we're going to talk about. So I'm guessing we're going to talk about the cloud. This is Cloud City after all, right? No.
It's cloudy.
Bespin, is that what we call this place? Something like that. Adam has been working on what? Cloud compute and things? How would you describe what you work on?
Google Compute Engine.
Google Compute Engine. That's the one with VMs, right?
Yes. For 13 years now?
13 years.
Yeah.
Clouds.
Yeah. You want to?
Yeah. So tell us about the engine and what compute's doing it and stuff.
So taking the infrastructure we have and virtualizing it so that we can sell little bits of computers to people or whole computers, depending on what you want to buy.
I take it's gone through a few iterations and we're at the latest one. And
yeah, it's incremental upgrades of things over time.
Okay.
It's a ship of Theseus. It's not. It has not. There's never been a version increment really. There's been multiple iterations of the control plane, multiple iterations of virtualization software, but it's still the same product as far as people are concerned.
Tell us a bit about your role in that right now.
I'm one of the tech leads on the Compute SRE team, so we manage GCE as best we can from an SRE perspective.
That sounds challenging. I bet the use cases are pretty diverse.
For computers?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is more than just computers, I guess, is worth pointing out. It's a data center in a box. So you end up with virtual networks, firewalls, computers, disks, load balancers, all of the things you would want.
Okay, as an SRE myself, I usually have to focus on one of those actions. Tell us about supporting them all.
You don't end up with a deep knowledge of each individual piece. There's one of the teams manages the API and generally the customer experience on the API as itself doesn't necessarily know how the business logic works. Other teams deal with individual networking components like load balancers or the virtual network or things like the virtual machines or disks. There's multiple teams for all of these things. And that's just SRE.
Yeah. So there's these product teams that build the systems or adapt the systems over time, I suppose. Yeah. And I think, so one piece of context that's important is that the people who listen to this podcast or watch the video or whatever it is are like SREs who don't work at Google. That's the idea. Or SRE adjacent folks, production teams or DevOps, things like that. So I think a lot of them will have read things about Google internally, like they know about this idea of this thing called Borg. So is Compute Engine just like a different Borg, or is it like just an exposure of Borg? Like that doesn't sound that hard, Adam. Surely it's just a matter of opening a firewall to the computers or something, right?
Right.
If only it was that simple.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Compute Engine runs on Borg.
Yeah. And then what about we don't want to offer just a raw computer to end customers.
We do offer that as a feature.
Well,
one of the significant benefits of the cloud is you don't have to think about hardware. You tell us you want the virtual machine, and if the hardware it's running on fails, we will run it somewhere else. You get redundant computers out of one computer. Obviously, if you want true redundancy, run more than one virtual machine. But on the whole, your VMs will stay running even if the underlying hardware fails.
So you've been working on this product for a while now, I would say.
It's been a while.
Has it, gotten bigger at all?
So I've been on the product since before it was GA.
Okay.
So I remember when it was not really usable. In the beginning, you couldn't even boot off of a persistent disk. So persistent disk is the reliable storage that virtual machines have. At the beginning, we just exposed the disks that machines were on as well, and that was what you had to boot off of. That's an example of the way it's changed over time. That is not an option anymore. Now you have to boot off of a persistent disk so that if the underlying host crashes, you still have your virtual machine.
You mentioned something a little while ago, which is a term that I think people have heard about but may not know deeply. You mentioned the control plane. So you said that there is a control plane for GCE or for just sort of for this data center product. How would you describe a control plane and let alone this control plane to our listeners?
Yeah, of course, there's more than one. There's layers of control planes.
Perfect.
So when I say control plane, I'm talking about the API endpoint that people talk to mutate their compute engine resources.
Right.
So this is compute.googleapis.com is the host name. That is like the HTTP server that people talk to and change things. That turns into a very large amount of business logic in a bunch of different systems to actuate what people ask.
Right.
But the control plane, as we think of it, is the thing that holds the knowledge of the resources that exist and allows you to mutate them.
So it's like it has a database, it knows what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
You can tell it, I want one more of those things, please, or one less of those things, et cetera. And
It makes that happen.
it makes that happen. But the interesting part, I think, around it is that it's not just about the VMs themselves. Like you said, it's firewalls and network and storage and all these other things as well.
Yes. What data center in a box means is still evolving. This is changing with AI drastically as well, with the large amounts of storage, bandwidth, memory, interconnect, everything that people want.
Accelerators.
Yes.
Yeah.
And locality matters a lot more all of a sudden. The product is changing constantly. The requirements are changing. The old requirements never really go away either.
Nice.
Speaking of like scale, imagine I'm trying to draw by analogies, something we've done at massive planet scale. I'm trying to think of what I do in my tiny little company, which I'm doing at a small scale. What's something that actually isn't any different, even though it's planet scale compared to my small business? I'm cloudifying my thing, or not even that, but I have to do something a little larger. What's a support story you still have to do that looks like what you would have done at a millionth the scale?
Actually understand what your customers need. It's very easy with a big company with a lot of customers and enormous scale to forget that when someone is saying they have a problem, they probably are actually having a problem that can be traced back through the system into what's actually happening. Kind of breaking through all those layers and figuring that out is hard, but I think the same regardless of the size of a company.
And do you think that like this is the same story over and over again, which is getting good at understanding what is needed, how to prioritize it, how to make it actionable, responding to it? Are these the tools that we're still using the same muscles in our brain and going a little bit faster with some of the tooling? How's that? Some of that's actually changed in the last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel like you're trying to lead me somewhere, but I'm not sure where.
Well, he just asked a question about AI's influence, like anomaly detection.
Oh, yeah. So it feels like this stuff is changing faster than I can keep up with it, but there is... Over the course of the last year, I've seen computers go from things where if a human had not suggested all of the relevant dashboards, all of the relevant information, there was no additional, there was no added information when something went wrong. But there's a lot, the aggregation and collation abilities of these systems is improving.
From what I could tell in my, say, small business, I need a lot of the automated anomaly detection because I don't have the time to dedicate one person to look at all the dashboards because they're probably swapping disks around and also responding to customer phone calls and all these things at the same time. So that tooling is fantastic for me. And at scale, I can devote a team of people to respond to things manually, but probably they want that automation too, and that's kind of happening all at the same time. What are you seeing in triage and ticketing and right now? This is clearly happening right now.
Yeah, so I mean, agents are pretty good at triaging bugs. So the summarizing, triaging, and routing of things.
That's pretty interesting to me.
I want to turn the corner a little bit into something adjacent. So you're on a couple teams. We call them IRT teams. They're incident response teams.
Yep.
They're kind of like an escalated incident response team. So when people are in trouble, they can kind of it's bigger than I thought, or I'm not sure how to. They can basically page this team or engage this team in some way. Can you tell us about why did you choose to do this, or what is it that? How would you summarize this type of work?
So it's my favorite part of the job, honestly, which feels a little weird because you're only summoned when there's a disaster going on. So IRT teams are. Incident response teams deal with incident management, incident command, and in general, just being around and helping to make things better when everything is going wrong. Generally, they're comprised of the people who watch and learn what's going on. Once you get enough skill, you can start taking command of these incidents.
Would you say that's a good approach to take? Like if someone finds themselves in this position and they want to get better at it and they want to be, for example, I'm on a team that's just like this and I'm trying to get better at it. And I know that you've been in this position for a long time. How do I get better at being a member of an IRT team? Like what's a good path to take or things to think about?
Everyone needs to be aware of who is actually in control of the incident and defer to them. So there's, regardless of position in a company, regardless of level, who managerial relationships or the like, someone is in charge and they should be listened to, and it should be treated as a temporary leadership position. I don't know what the right way to describe it is.
Yeah. Temporal for sure. Like it's during the course of the incident.
Yes.
I've heard one phrase get passed around, which is if someone kind of is encroaching, maybe a simple phrase is, would you like to take over as IC?
I have literally done that. And
that's a good one.
The person stopped.
Yeah.
it was because that is another aspect of this is you show up largely because you were asked to, and it's not a favor since it's part of one's role at a company, but you are there because it is necessary for you to be there.
This goes all the way back to the first episode of last season or second episode, which is and an SRE principle, which is clarity of role, horizontal access, and openness and clear communication globally. And in solving problems together as people. And I love hearing these stories and also know that this is a part-time work for many people. Some cloud IRT for some people is not a full-time gig. It is something you do when there's only an incident, and it doesn't need to be a full-time gig. It can be in a big organization where there needs to be a full-time response. But as far as I could tell, there are people who only do that when it's called for. What's it like when an incident happens all of a sudden? Like how is it self-organized or partially organized? Like describe a life of an incident. Like go through
a big one though.
A big one.
Yeah.
So
make it more.
Yeah.
Make it exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'll speak for tech IRT because those are even bigger. If too many incidents are opened in too short a period of time, tech IRT is alerted to say, hey, you should probably look and see what's going on because there might be something wrong. So there's often that is the start of realizing that something is broken. This results in seeing what's broken, finding the on-calls that have already been paged because they've already opened incidents, assuming that that's the case, and dragging everyone together, usually into a video conference, because I found that's the highest bandwidth way of getting people on the same page and making sure that you aren't duplicating roles and you've got the right people in the room. I think it usually very quickly turns into, do we understand what is wrong and who are the right people to be working on this? And let's get them here right now at any cost. And ideally, you can get that all going within about 10 minutes or so. Depending on the scope of the outage, that's either good or bad. Because sometimes if cooling is failing, it needs to be faster than that. But those are smaller, more constrained incidents in terms of who needs to respond.
Well, this is an interesting, like the way this is spoken about in kind of external, more academic circles is like this is a case of what we call adaptive capacity, and it's the ability for a team to be able to kind of borrow capacity from someone else. In this case, you and your friends to come in and provide some capability or some knowledge or just like connective tissue almost with other teams, things like this, or just simply just like, hey, how about I just take over for you? Even that level, I think, does a lot for teams like that. So can you imagine the case where incidents like you've seen before were happening and IRT did not exist? Like besides just like the actual access control that you might have to be able to change a load balancer or change a Borg job or something like that. Do you think that just this ability to step in and say, hey, we're here to help, just that alone, does that help the situation?
I've seen it repeatedly help situations. Yeah. There's a level of feeling responsibility for something but not knowing what to do that can kind of make people vapor lock or deadlock almost in responding to things.
This sounds like, psychological safety here is really paramount. Being safe, saying you don't know the answer is the only way to make progress here. Is like, I don't know, and I need to have the following things in order to know.
Yeah.
And then having an incident commander say, okay, well, you need to go either tell me who to go find out that for you or delegate that to someone else.
So has anyone ever gotten in trouble for asking for help from IRT?
No.
leading question. I was really hoping you were going to say no.
The attitude is, please, if we're to page for a completely specious thing, the attitude is, please don't page us for that next time, but feel free to page us with new problems, because they don't let the problem sit and simmer if you don't know what to do. Yeah,
it's better to apologize for a page than to apologize for not a page.
Yes,
I would say. Like, if you just let it just blow up and you didn't ask for help, that would be real bad. Well, thank you for coming. This was really fun. And do you have anything you want to add? What do you want to say to the SREs who don't work at this company? Anything? Or like, do you want to share any social connections, or like where you formerly known as Tweet or anything like that?
I have
do you like
social networking presence.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I don't know. Keep playing with fun, reliable software.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
It's been fun.
Thanks.
Bye.